Okay, I'm here with Luis from the Ubuntu Studio project. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Are you enjoying?
Happy to be here.
Yeah, enjoying UDS Jaunty?
Yeah, a lot. It's always really good to come to UDS, get to meet with the people you've been talking with through the internet for a long time now. Be able to connect again more faces to names. It's fantastic.
What sort of things are you looking to take away from this UDS?
For me, UDS is all about connections. It's about making human face-to-face contact with people that are going to be helping me a lot in Ubuntu Studio to get all the details of an Ubuntu flavor working. We have to deal with various different aspects of distros, so we need a lot of contacts both inside Canonical and outside in the community. And it's always more getting to know people and make the relations and make a few big decisions that we've been taking, the few of us of Ubuntu Studio that are here. But the valuable part is getting to make it really easy to handle the future needs.
What sort of decisions are you looking at for Studio?
Right now we are having huge problems with Pulse Audio, which everybody knows about, and Daniel Chen, Luke Jelovich, Emmett Hickory, myself, and a few other people that have been discovering bugs related to Pulse Audio have been talking about the best way to approach it from an audio production system. And we kind of decided that we can do without desktop sounds for that kind of a use case and go without Pulse Audio at all. The graphics people, the video people will still have Pulse Audio and still have all the desktop niceness, but if you want an audio production system where latency is really important, the better thing to do is go without Pulse Audio.
And so Pulse Audio is introducing latency to audio processing?
Yes.
All right, okay. So that's why you wouldn't want it if you're doing music production?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So what else are you looking at for Studio? What's coming up in Studio?
The last release, we were unfortunate that with the kernel changes in the last few months, or 2 last months. So now we have to get proper kernel in the next release. So I've also been talking over with kernel guys and getting that sorted. So we work together to make something available for users.
And that's the real-time kernel, isn't it? The low latency one, which was in main but is now in Universe.
It's been always in Universe.
It's always been in Universe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means it's community supported.
It's always been community supported.
Right, okay.
We have Alessio Mogani, which is a great developer working almost by himself and applying all the real-time kernel patch, which is just a huge patch to the scheduling of the main kernel, making that available for in the Ubuntu package and blending that into the Ubuntu kernel.
What were the issues with the kernel? You said that this release that's just happened, Intrepid, there were some issues.
Yeah, they changed the kernel version number, which made sense for main Ubuntu and for the general use cases, because it was having some problems. But it really was hard for us because then we had very few time to get all those patches back again and start from scratch for the new kernel version.
Now, in Prague, we talked about video editing on Linux. We talked about Cinelera was being rewritten and things like PTV were perhaps being worked on a bit more. Do you think things have changed significantly?
Not as much as I would like to. The projects are still live, they're still development, but not enough. It's still slow moving and it's still the last card to drop in the domino effect to get real multimedia production in Linux.
Things like Ardor seem to be developing nicely, though. There's quite a few changes in that.
Yeah, Ardor, they recently have a new release and a major number release, and they're doing great stuff. It's really a system that can be used in a lot of production systems that are not only amateur but professional.
Are there any other things that are coming up in Jaunty release of Studio that you want to highlight or that we should be aware of?
One of the big pushes is going to go to Jack 2, which is also going to be an important thing. Then we're going to focus majorly not trying to change the world in making huge changes, but getting everything as pristine as possible, which is bug tracking majorly. Like having a great focus on tracking bugs and fixing any slight bugs any user might have and getting everything sorted.
Okay, so how can people get involved with Studio?
We're very open to new developers. We're always looking for. Every few months, every 6 months, we have a "we want you" kind of flyer around the blogosphere. We have an open RC channel. It used to be closed, which people were not happy about. We've opened the developer channel, so now we have 2 open channels, both the user feedback and support channel and the developer channel. So just come along. We also have mailing lists that are totally open, both a support and developer channel where we have decisions made. We have a wiki with everything we do, all the information, we even have guidelines for how the artwork has to be with like the color palette we're looking for and what style of art we're looking for every release. All the information is out there, and we're always really happy to get somebody interested and just pointing them around, helping them, talking to them, being interested. We're like, one of these parts we really need a lot of help is, for example, documentation, where it's always hard to get good people, write good documentation. It's sad to have great software that people are not capable of using because they don't know how to, because they cannot learn easily. I mean, the technology is there, which is one would think is the hardest part, but then getting people to know how to use that technology seems to be a big burden right now.
And if people have got an existing Ubuntu installation, they can install the Studio packages, can't they,
Yes.
on top of that, and effectively be running Studio?
Yes. We try to be a subgroup of Ubuntu as much as possible. We want to be part of the community. We don't want to be a flavor that works out of the community. We want to be part of it, and it works both ways. We help all we can the audio, video, graphics related stuff in Ubuntu, and a lot of Ubuntu comes to us. What that means is that if you have the Ubuntu repos, and everything is in the official Ubuntu repos and canonical servers, and everything's in the same places as if you're using main Ubuntu, you can go and install the meta packages we have, or specific packages. Like I have a lot of users that have told me that they just love the artwork, so they just go and install the few meta packages we have for like the theme or the desktop or the icons, and they just go and install that, and they appreciate having a really easy way to just installing the art side without having to deal with like the kernel or the software packages that we deliver.
Because Studio kind of pioneered the dark theme thing that I was talking to Ken about earlier.
Yeah, it was an easy decision to make, as in it was the natural thing. It just felt really natural when we decided to go dark, as in all the multimedia production software, both in the free software and proprietary world, are dark, which makes sense because you're a creator. You want to like have less things on your face, and you're going to be looking at that screen for a long time in a studio.
Yeah.
Your eyes are going to be blurry by the end you finish if you have a long session. So to see that most applications go with a dark feel, and it just felt wrong to like have a window border that was really light and then having the application be very dark. Then we decided to go with the bluey thing, and it's interesting about the blue part because it has become kind of like our image, to the extent that we were thinking about changing that. We were thinking about going and every once in a while changing it. And we went to a mailing list. We're always trying to be as close to the community and as close to the users as possible. And we were like, hey, guys, do you want to change? Do you want to go for like a black and brown this time? And then we can think about it in a year and a half if we want to change the color and kind of have like a staged image of every release, or every 2 releases, or every LTS has a different feel to it. And we got a big majority of people saying no. We like the black and blue. We want it to stay that, and the color palette is not changing, not because we don't want it, but because people don't want it.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for talking to me today, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
It's a pleasure being here.